Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. Stoked to be here. My name is Justin Moore, founder of Creator Wizard, where I help you find and negotiate your dream sponsorships. So today we're going to be talking about something pretty fun, which is, should creators accept free products or gifts from brands? And when I say fun, we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons. And the reason I think this is fun is because these are learning lessons. It's something that no matter where you're at in your creator journey, I think, heck, even my wife and I get offered free stuff all the time. And so sometimes this is a question that I get a lot, which is that how do you actually know whether this is something that you should do? Is it damaging to your career long term as a creator? Are you going to be forever, making it very difficult for you to ask for money later in the future from this brand, and so on? And so this is going to be a very good discussion. So let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. We got someone from the Facebook chat. It just says Facebook user. I don't know why. I don't know. It says, "Hey Justin, I was just having this conversation with a friend. Let me know what your name is in the Facebook chat, because I can't see it." But yeah, it is something that people question a lot. Is like, is this, especially, it's like, oh, like everyone else in my niche accepts free products, so I feel forced to, right? It's like difficult for me to convince brands that they should pay me. Oh, Melody. Hey, Melody. Good to see you. And so I did want to start off by talking about a few pros and cons, okay? Because I want to get the juices flowing here. But if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Actually, let me pull up my IG chat, because that I don't have those comments unless I actually pull it up on my phone. And so let's see here. Are we here? Are we live on? I don't know why it's like not saying that I'm live. Oh, I know why. It's not saying that I'm live on my creator. There we go. We've got Mrs. Marvelous, Glowing Healthy Nutrition, and several others. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about. So pros and cons of accepting free product from brands. Point number one is that there is value in getting repetitions under your belt, understanding what it's like working with a brand, especially if you're at the outset of your creator journey. And the reason I believe this can be valuable is because when your dream brand ultimately reaches out about a sponsorship opportunity, you don't want to screw it up, right? And so, going through the motions, understanding, what it's like, them sending you the product, what are their expectations going to be? Do you have to send concepts? Are you going to be, sending them a draft of the content for review? Understanding the feedback process, how to interpret that. There's a lot of stuff that goes into a partnership, right? And so in the beginning, when my wife and I were starting out as creators, that's all we did. All we did was free product, because, well, not to mention back in the day, 10, 11 years ago, uh, paying creators was not really a thing. I will say, though, that my wife's first YouTube channel was all around beauty, cosmetics, skincare, and things like that. And those brands actually got it pretty early, because it was pretty easy to understand. Like, okay, we are a physical product business. If we send you this thing and you talk about it, we are selling more of these things, right? So it's just like, they got it a lot earlier. As with a lot of things, the beauty industry tends to be pretty cutting edge with a lot of technology and social media stuff. And so we did get a lot of free stuff, but then, they were some of the first brands, the early brands, to pay and compensate creators because they saw the value there. But it has been a slower transition for other, content verticals, other product sets, and so on. But yeah, I do believe there is. I don't think it's fair to beat up on creators in the beginning, especially if it's like an expensive product, right? Where it's just like, oh, I was going to buy it anyway. This thing is like 600, 700, 800 bucks. And I was going to purchase it anyway. Why not accept the product? Right. So, I just wanted to say there as the first one, as the first point of this, is that, there is value in getting repetitions under your belt. Wayne Banga in the TikTok chat said, I just wanted to stop by and say you have helped out so much these past few months. I appreciate that so much, man. I'm glad that glad that these live stream I'm doing, all the content and stuff is helping you out, because at the end of the day, I just want to help everyone else make money. Everyone make money. That's like my goal, my dream in life. And so I'm so stoked to hear you say that it's been helpful. Pros and cons of accepting free product from brands. Point number 2 is that there is a big difference between the brand sending the product with no strings attached and no expectation of you posting versus the brand sending a brief, talking points, a call to action. Use this promo code Justin20 for 20% off your first purchase. That is a campaign. You actually are probably going to be driving revenue for them, driving eyeballs on their new product launch. And I'm sorry, free product is not adequate compensation for the value that you're bringing them, right? So this is one of the most important distinctions to make when it comes to deciding whether you're going to accept this product for free or not. What are the expectations that this brand has of what you're going to be doing in return for them? Like I mentioned this recently, that a brand gave me a free wine fridge recently. Y'all, it was like an $800 wine fridge. And I was stoked. I was like, yes, please, send me the wine fridge, right? And the point is that there wasn't this laundry list of talking points, right? We did ultimately include it in one of our YouTube vlogs. And again, like, we get a lot of free PR, a lot of this stuff, but it's like anytime a brand reaches out, first of all, the other important thing to realize here is that, actually, I'm going to talk about this point later. I'm actually going to make a note here because I want to talk about this. All right, I have like some notes here, so don't forget. But again, like, it's really important to like understand at the outset, what are they going to be asking you? Because has this ever happened to you where the brand offers to send free products and then they like follow up after you receive it and they're like, hey, where's the post? And you're like, well, I didn't think that was part of the deal, right? So the onus is on you to actually clarify that ahead of time, so you don't get into these like tricky situations where it's like, oh, well, I thought I didn't have to, or whatever. So Timeless X Beauty says, LFMAO, I love that. What do you love? Is it the distinction? I don't know what it is, but hopefully, whatever you love, I appreciate that you love it. Pros and cons of accepting free product from brands. Point number 3 is that the moment that you agree to do anything for free, you have created a very dangerous precedent, because you now have an anchor to which all future partnerships will be chained to. Has this ever happened to you? Right? You've been working with a brand for free for a while until you kind of get fed up. And then you finally muster the courage to say, hey, can you, maybe pay me now? And then they scoff. They're like, oh, and they're like, well, what changed? We were perfectly happy with the way things are going. Now, see, there are possible ways to salvage these types of relationships, but the onus is on you to construct a very compelling proposal for why compensating you makes sense. Okay. She was saying, I love that the wine fridge story. Yes, of course. I mean, who wouldn't want that, right? Not only it's a dual zone wine fridge, by the way. It's got like on the top section, I do like the white wine, because those have to be kept at a colder temperature, like 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and then on the bottom it's like 55 degrees for the red wine. So you can also put beer cans in there. Anyways, this is like, no one cares about this, but like, I was pretty stoked about it. Okay. And we've got General Motors Jeff tuning in. We've got Kim Sonko from the LinkedIn chat. Deals with Mel said, oh, okay, this is better. And we've got Zay here from Raise Good Kids. I rarely make it when you're live, but I absolutely do not miss a single of your replay videos. They have helped me so much. I'm so grateful for everything you do. That means so much to me. Thank you. I don't know if we've ever connected. And so, or actually, I think I may have seen your handle on Raise Good Kids before on Instagram. So really means a lot for that you tune in and that this has been helpful for you. So thank you. We've got Crystal tuning in from the IG chat. Urban Life. What's up, Jenna? And Jenna, did you get my email? You won the CEX ticket giveaway. I don't know if I heard back from you. I just realized I need to like follow up on the ticket winners for that, but I don't know if you saw my email. I hope you're coming next week. Mrs. Marvelous Retro.
Wait a
Oh, hey,
second.
boo.
Wait a second now.
What?
I was peeing and I
Oh.
heard Raise Good Kids. I like Raise Good Kids.
Yeah, Zay from Raise Good Kids
Hey,
here.
oh my god, so cool. I love that. Do you follow that
on Instagram, right?
It is
I remember
so
that.
good.
Yes.
It's like it's such a helpful account that helps me be a better mom. Like I love that account.
Yes, amazing. Now it's all coming back to me.
Anyways, it's incredible and how fast Raise Good Kids grew.
I know, right?
You do like 1 million now, girl.
Oh, seriously?
No, I don't know, but I feel like it because you're that good.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Love you. Have y'all seen his teeth?
I hadn't talked about it yet, but now April, y'all, I got my, what do you think my new teeth? I got my new porcelain veneers finally installed yesterday. I think I was telling like a week or two ago that like I had the temporary veneers in or the temporary teeth in, and they finally put the veneers in. What do you think? Yeah, so it's like a big difference. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Zay said, hi, April, I'm an OG vlog fan. Yes, thank you so much. That really means that longtime support really does mean a lot. So thank you. Congratulations on your success. Melody says it's bright. How long did it take to put it in? So the process of veneers, for those of you who care, is that first they have to. I did like Zoom teeth whitening first to like kind of get my teeth. I drink a lot of coffee, wine, tea, and so on, and so my teeth are like not the whitest. And so they do the Zoom teeth whitening procedure, which is like maybe an hour and a half, something like that. And then after that, that's like one appointment. And then a couple days later, they do the prep for the veneers. And so that's when there's all the grinding. So they like grind the teeth down to kind of like stubs. And then they take the mold of your teeth. And then the veneer person in the office comes and like does the color match. And then you get fitted with temporary teeth, and you wear those for like 2 weeks or so. And it takes 2 weeks for the porcelain veneers to get fabricated. And then you come back for the fitting, which is when they actually cement them in, which was what I did yesterday. And so I've had these temporary teeth for like 2 weeks, and they were so annoying. And so I'm so glad to have like my permanent teeth in. Although I must say I need to go back and get a little bit like different fitting, because the bite is just different now. Because I don't know. I had gaps before, probably, maybe you didn't notice, but I had like, they were filled with like bonding. And so the bonding was cracking. I was like 15 years old. And so I was faced with like, I'm going to put more bonding on there, or what am I going to do? And I finally was just like, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm going to get veneers. April has veneers too. So, so it was just like, I figured why not? Right. Okay. Anyways, off topic there for a second, but let me pull in, because we have a question from. I want to get back to some other pros and cons here, but I did want to acknowledge a question from Modistra Sows in the chat. I want to get brand deals in the sewing industry, and it feels like everyone accepts free stuff. I do work with one fabric company. For writing blogs for them, they give me fabric for free though. Okay, so I am going to put a pin in your question, because I'm actually going to discuss this very specific thing in just a moment here, because this is very pervasive, this whole thing about other people accepting free product. So this is a good time to kind of segue to the next thing. Pros and cons of accepting free products from brands. Point number 4 is that you are completely dismissing and devaluing the relationship that you have built up with your audience over time. Why is it that when a brand reaches out offering a free $10 bag of potato chips, creators are like, yeah, send them over? Is that the price of admission for letting the brand access your 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 followers? Remember, that is 50,000 prospective customers of that brand. Sure seems to me that you hold all the cards. And now it's just a matter of illustrating to the brand the opportunity that's in front of them. Right? So sometimes it comes down to a mindset shift for you as a creator of how valuable of an asset you have. And it's not just your amount of followers, by the way. It's the expertise. It's this big old brain that you have up here in your head, because you understand how certain platforms work, right? You think that brands have it all figured out. They don't. Right? That's why they're coming to you, because you have the expertise. And asking you to do all this stuff for free is not reasonable. And pros and cons of accepting free product from brands. Point number 5 is that when you do it, you are contributing to the holistic commoditization of creators everywhere who are already struggling to be taken seriously. And the more creators that accept free stuff instead of being compensated, the easier it gets for brands to gaslight you and say, well, this other creator did it for free. How come you won't? Now, normally my advice is that you can't get upset about this kind of thing because the only person you can control is you. However, I'm trying to play my small part by teaching creators that things can improve for all of us if we collectively choose to educate ourselves and stop believing that brands hold all the cards. Right? So, Medistra, you were mentioning here that like all these other people are accepting free products. And so, like I said, you can't control them. You can't control what that other, you can just, get mad about it, get frustrated. Brand tries to gaslight you. I get it. It can be kind of difficult sometimes having these conversations with brands, but that, in my mind, is a victim mentality. You're not a victim. You hold all the cards. I talk a lot about power dynamics in my courses and my content and things like that because one of the biggest reasons that a lot of creators have a difficult time charging their worth, understanding their value when it comes to working with brands, is because they feel as though they're so lucky for this brand reaching out to them. Like, oh my gosh, this brand reached out to me. Like, I got to make this work. Whatever they say their budget is, okay, I'll just like make it work to whatever their budget is. But when you have a mindset shift about like, no, let me do an analysis of everything that I'm bringing to the table, my expertise. I understand social media, the compelling content that I can create, the well-established history that I have making other brands very happy doing partnerships with them. Those are all extremely valuable things to a brand. Now, you may not know that, but they do, because believe me, they've had terrible experiences working with other creators before. So if you can illustrate to them why it's going to be different from you, that's when you can charge a lot more money. Right? And Cabrina Budwell says, yes, say it louder for the people in the back. Cabrina, aren't you the other person who won the ticket giveaway? For the CEX ticket giveaway? Did you receive my email? I don't know if I got an email back from you. I think Cabrina, your name is so unique. I'm pretty sure it's you. Yes. I hope you can join. I don't know if you're located near Phoenix, but I hope you can. You can fly in. Congratulations. Are you coming? She says, I can't wait. I hope you are. I hope you're coming. That would be great to meet you. We got some other dude. I want to get them. What dental office? I'm in the Bay Area too. Oh my goodness. Yes. Congrats. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I've been really stoked with them. So thank you. I appreciate that. We've got Crystal tuning in. Oh, I think we got Janet. We've got someone else who I missed. My little Alim tuning in. Thank you. Bert Byler, JJ Gott. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. And we've got Casey Rose. Cabrina says, I'm in Colorado, but I'm going to be there. Boom. That's so awesome. Hope you're going to jump on a Southwest flight or something. That's awesome. Modista So says, how do I affecting reach out to brands to try to work with them? I don't know what affecting means. How do I reach out to brands to try to work with them? So I would really recommend that you go check out a video that I have on my YouTube channel called How to Pitch a Brand Start to Finish, because I really put a lot of thought into that video about literally from the very beginning. How do you actually construct a pitch? What do you actually say? How do you find the right person? So I go through like step by step how you actually do it. And so regardless of like where you're at in your creator journey, I do think it's a very helpful video. So I would definitely go check that out. If you are not on my email list, I really would recommend you joining it. It's just creatorwizard.com/join. because not only do I send you videos like this and tips and things like that, but I send you paid sponsorship opportunities, y'all. I have over 4,000 creators on my email list, and every single Thursday at 7 a.m. Eastern, I send you tons of paid sponsorship opportunities. So I would love to have you on my email list because that's the best way for us to stay in touch with all the different things that we're working on. Oh, effectively. Thank you. Modistra clarifies, how do I effectively reach out to brands to try and work with them? So the biggest mindset shift around pitching brands cold and trying to understand how to craft an effective pitch is to shift it from being about you to being about the brand. So many creators, the thrust of their pitch is, "Hi, my name is Justin. I was born in, California, and I have 3 kids, and my audience demographics are this, and check out all these platforms and the reach that I have, and yada yada yada." The brand doesn't care. I'm sorry for being so callous, right? But I give you a little bit of tough love on here. This is what I do, right? The brand doesn't care. What the brand cares about is how can you help them accomplish their business objectives. So you can do a little bit of sleuthing on social media. Look at their recent press releases. What are they posting on their website, on their blog, right? And that's what you pitch. You say, "Hey, I noticed that you're trying to do this year. That's so interesting because I also do this." And I could help you bring to life this initiative on my platform, on your platform. I can help you create exclusive content. Right? Do you see how that's at such a different, I'm simplifying it a little bit, but that's the difference. How can you craft this pitch through the lens so that they'll click on the email, so that the subject line of the email is about this campaign that they ran last year? Don't you think they're going to click on that? They're not going to click on, 100K lifestyle influencer. Subject line. A collab? Question mark. They're not going to click on that, but they're going to click on hashtag Walmart summer fashion or whatever. If maybe that was a hashtag that they were running. They're going to click on that email because they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, that was a campaign we're running. What is this email?" You got to get more creative than that. In fact, in my course, I have actually a whole resource called Proven Subject Lines, because I've done literally thousands of pitches over the decade of being a creator, and so that is a resource I have in my course. But honestly, it really comes down to just understanding, if you were the brand, if you were putting yourself in their shoes, what would you click on? Are you going to click on collab question mark? Probably not, right? And Cabrina says it's really the difference between a creator and an influencer. I love that. That's a great little quotable tagline there. Let me take a swig. Do we see D in the chat? D, what's going on? I didn't even see you. D said, did I miss something? Oh man, the YouTube chat is blowing up while I was away in some of these other chats. Altone Tech said, what if you're just starting out with and your followers have not grown to 1,000? D in the chat said, I wanted to highlight this. She said, that's okay. I got paid $500 for a sponsored post with just 1,000 followers. You got to show them the value in why they should pay you. Love it, D. Love it. And Modern Day Tech said, I remember the first time a brand reached out to me. I was so excited. I wish I knew then what I know now. Yeah, you know what? I made every mistake in the book. April and I, when we were first starting out, we made every single mistake in the book. We agreed to do stuff for free product. We granted brands perpetual usage of our content. One day we turned on the TV and we saw April's face on a broadcast TV commercial from a video that she had done in partnership with the brand for free product. And we were like, we went back and looked at the contract and we were like, right? But these are the things. This was the Wild West back then. No one knew had any idea what we were doing. And I see, it's like a broken record. I see the same mistakes being made with a lot of the creators on TikTok coming up, which is why I'm so excited to help teach and educate everyone. Don't do this. That was what we did. It's the same lessons that I'm trying to, there's so many lessons that can be learned from people who came up on YouTube. And that's one of the missions that I have of why I get on this live stream every single week, trying to educate folks. Right. D and Fam said, Justin, I did that recently. I said, your partnerships failed because you didn't have me. Felt so damn good knowing my worth. Damn, that's a mic drop moment right there. Did you say that exact thing, or did you say it like tactfully? I'm so interested because that's hilarious to me. Boom. Shelly saves the day. What's going on? Shelly says, I was just talking about you last night on my stream. You know, Shelly, it's funny. I have been, ever since we did our live stream together and you coined that term, or you said that thing, niche neighbors, that just stuck in my head. I use that all the time, and I always credit you. I always say, my friend Shelly, she says this thing, niche neighbors. I just love it whenever I'm talking about, why you should not be scared. Like, this is a very pervasive thing. Creators are terrified of other creators that they view as competitive in their niche. They see that creator get a brand deal and they're like stewing in their den, in their cave, and they're like, how did that creator get a deal? That's my dream brand. That creator's never even used that product, right? And it's like, no, like, that's such a great thing, because now you know that that brand is working with creators. That's going to be you next week. That's going to be you next month. You can now use that to reach out to the brand and say, hey, I saw this amazing partnership that you were doing with this other creator. That was amazing. I would love to share that with my followers as well. Maybe on TikTok, maybe on Instagram, maybe on YouTube. That's a great thing. That's validation that that brand cares about your niche. So your niche neighbors are exactly that. They're not your enemies. They're your friends. And you need to treat them as such. Right? Cabrina says we all have to be friends. Exactly. Keystone buys houses. Got some crying, laughing emojis. I love it. I love it. I will check out your YouTube. I think I'll reach out to pattern and fabric companies. Okay, so let me give you a mindset shift for you today here. Okay, you ready for your mind to be blown here? Okay. So I was actually just looking at actually, let me back up here a second. A lot of creators think that the only types of brands that they can work with are products that exactly fit into their content that they're creating. So let's say, right, your fabric pattern, that's the type of content that you're creating on your YouTube channel, right? You think, oh, the only companies that would actually really ever want to partner with me are patterns, fabric, those type of products, those type of brands, right? But in reality, what you need to be doing is thinking about the psychographics of your audience. You can even survey them. Where do you live? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? What are the brands and products that you use? So that you can start to understand what is the persona of the people that follow me. Because I would suggest that, maybe I'm going to make this up here, but I would suggest that people who are really into crafting, sewing, fabric patterns, maybe you have a large amount of people who homeschool their kids in your audience. And so right there, maybe there's an interesting partnership to be had with tools, services, software programs who help homeschooling families. And I'm sure you can think of a creative way to integrate that into your content. You don't need to sit on do a dedicated video talking about all about this homeschooling product. No, you're doing your crafting tutorial, your fabric, your sewing tutorial, and you're talking about the brand integrated into that. Right? And the way in which you position it is very powerful. You basically say, I wanted to thank this sponsor, Homeschooling Software XYZ, because they continue to help me create free content for you. Right? There's a more gracious way, or a more articulate way to say it, but like a lot of creators are terrified to do these types of interesting integrations where it's not like completely in alignment with exactly what the content vertical is. But when you shift your mindset to like, how can I actually provide and present products and services to my followers that will be helpful to them, it totally changes the way you think about this kind of thing. So rather than you just like feeling nervous that like, oh, my followers are going to hate me for doing this, it's like, no, they're going to love me because I got them this sweet deal. I got them this free product. Go enter your information. And you get like, there was this one time where my wife April did a partnership with CeraVe, the skincare brand. And one of the parts of the partnership was that anyone who watched the video could fill out a form and get a free box of a full-size lotion. Anyone. And so people were stoked. They were like, congrats on the partnership. This is awesome. I get a free lotion. This is amazing. Right? So it was win-win-win. It was an amazing partnership for us. It was an amazing partnership for the brand. And then the April's followers got this free product. So stop thinking about brand deals as something that you're the only person who's getting something out of it, which is money. When you can start evaluating prospective opportunities under a different lens where it's win-win-win for everyone, everything is going to change. Right? Oh my gosh. The one thing about my veneers is that my teeth are still a little sensitive. Woo! So I'm drinking I have ice cold water right here, and it's just like, um, Janet in the chat says, I try to be friends with other creators in my niche, but I've noticed that most are not friendly. I wonder if it's the beauty space. I will say, my wife April has been in the beauty space for over a decade now. And there are certain verticals that are a little bit more cutthroat than others. And I think that there's a couple of reasons for that, I think that first and foremost, it does come down to this scarcity mindset that we were talking about, where it's like, oh, if that person is getting a deal, that's somehow bad for me, right? Also, if you have not made it yet, actually, let me back up. I do think that there is, particularly about the beauty space, there is this interesting dynamic, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, Janet, but I know for a fact, because we've experienced it, April's experienced it, that there is this interesting dynamic between people who are professional makeup artists, like certified, versus people who teach makeup on YouTube, where there's this weird tension where it's like they're not certified, and yet traditional makeup artists can get upset about well, I have the expertise and the knowledge, and I've invested in the certification and things like that. So why are these other people succeeding on social media who don't have those certifications? So I think that dynamic exists not just within beauty and makeup, but also other disciplines online and things like that. So it's not unique to that, but I do think that there is a little bit of a tension there with respect to that. But then also, I think again, it really does come down to also, I think it's where you're at in your creator journey, where if it's you're just starting out, you're hungry, you're trying to succeed, you're trying to grow your following, you're trying to grow your income. It feels as though it's hard to stand out. It's saturated. And so that with that scarcity mindset comes this feeling of I just need to be protective of everything. I just got to get mine. I can't help anyone else because that's going to stunt my growth trajectory. And I just completely believe that's utterly false. I believe that rising tides float all boats. Brands and advertisers are going to spend $15 billion in the influencer marketing space this year, 2022. And so that is a lot of money, right? So if you want to go out there and grab some of that cash with both fists, the onus is on you to do it. You can't sit on your hands and wait for the brand to email you. So a lot of this comes down to taking the initiative and actually understanding how to craft compelling pitches and proposals to brands and not waiting for them to come to you. Because if you do that, you're going to have this type of mindset where it's you're going to view everyone as competitive. You're going to view this space as super saturated and hard to stand through. I will say, though, that there is something about doubling down on a niche, right? Because I think part of the reason that people feel like things are so competitive is because there's no differentiation at all from the content that you're creating relative to others. Right. So maybe you're you do beauty or you do food, you're a food, blogger or whatever. And it's there's no way for a brand or a follower to tell any sort of difference between you and this person. And so, of course, you're going to feel competitive, right? That person's my enemy, right? Because they got the deal and I didn't. But when you dial into a white space, look at me, I'm a sponsorship coach. Are there any other sponsorship coaches out there? I don't know that many of them. Right. So instead, when I was originally talking about the business of being a creator, I wasn't really seeing that much traction. I was talking about email lists. I was talking about, I was talking about, our affiliate marketing. I was talking about physical product businesses. I was talking about all these different things. And yeah, people found it valuable and stuff. But when I really started talking just about sponsorships and everyone started knowing me as that guy, that's the sponsorship guy, everything changed for me. Right? I'm getting sponsorships now, right? For the Creator Wizard stuff, which is not something I anticipated when I started doing this. So I would suggest that perhaps doubling down on a niche will help you not feel that way because you're in your own lane at that point. You're not competing with anyone else. Anyways, hopefully that's helpful. Shelly in the chat said, friends tell each other what they're getting paid. Wage transparency is a sign of friendship. Friendship is trust. Super interesting, Shelly. Yeah. General Motors Jeff said, I talk about trucks and I have brand deals with Manscaped and True Classic Tees. Male-dominated audience, therefore male-oriented products that have zero to do with trucks. There we go, Jeff. By the way, Jeff, I need to get that contact for True Classic Tees because I'm a huge fan. My wife April got me a bunch of True Classic Tees for my Christmas. I don't know, my birthday. I can't remember. No, my birthday is next. My birthday is next month. That's dope. Congratulations. That's awesome. Right? And yeah, and Medistra Sue says, says, I don't know why whenever I read So's, I always like say Sue's. I know what you mean. I just posted a TikTok about a magnet sweeper from Home Depot. So there we go. Mrs. Marvelous Retro said, how would you approach a small businesses that have little to no budget? So the way in which I would approach them would be to, okay, so this is actually a great question. So let's talk about this. So the way to approach a brand when they are a small business that has little to no budget is you need to speak their language. And what I mean by that is that brands who are small businesses likely have little to no budget to partner with creators, right? They, influencer marketing is probably not a significant portion of their marketing budget, right? It's probably more like Facebook ads or Instagram ads or YouTube ads or Google, pay-per-click ads or something, because it's more about like direct revenue that they can attribute at that point, right? And so when you come in and pitch them as a creator, it's not about, hey, I'll talk about you on my Instagram or talk about you on my TikTok. It's like, no, let me help you make more compelling ads for your Instagram, for your Facebook, or more compelling content that you can post organically, because that is something that they understand. That is something that they could be like, oh, I get why I have to pay money for that, because that is something that I can then turn around and leverage for these other marketing tactics that I'm using that I can directly attribute to revenue. So a lot of times being a creator is also about being able to be flexible with your vocabulary and your language so that you can use the words that will resonate with them. Right? So I actually have a video on my YouTube channel all about this topic. It's called Secret Words to Make Brands Pay You More. Because so much of negotiation is about vocabulary. It's about psychology. It's about helping the brand or the agency feel comfortable with you. Help them, give them a warm and fuzzy feeling that you're going to be a good investment, that you're the right partner for them. Whether or not you're going to deliver a 10x ROI to a lot of brands is immaterial. To a lot of brands, they just want to feel like you're going to be a reliable partner. I've talked recently about this, that, if I look at the height of our influence and viewership on social media, probably the height of it was 7-8 years ago, right? And yet we've made the most money that we've ever made every single year since then. Because it's not about that to a lot of brands. A lot of brands know that when they work with April and Justin, they're going to get an asset that is delivered on time. We're going to hit all the talking points. We're going to be flexible with anything that comes up. And we're going to do it with aplomb. Right? So you have to understand and get into that's one of the reasons why I create all this content to help educate y'all, is because You have to get into the head of trying to understand their motivations behind why they would want to pay you in the first place. A lot of times it has nothing to do with your following. A lot of times it has everything to do with tapping into your expertise. Okay. Deals with Mel said, I love that video, Secret Words. It's helped me so much. By the way, Deals with Mel, you changed your channel name on YouTube. Wasn't it Melody Johnson before? That's why I was like, wait, Deals with Mel? Awesome. Congrats. I love that. Love the change in the branding. Birding by Ear said, wow, I was just going to find you I was just going over your TikToks before I send out a contract to a brand. Congratulations, Birding by Ear. That's exciting. Let us know if you can let us know in the chat what kind of deal it is. That's exciting. Right? Okay, I'm gonna take a swig. Okay, so a couple other things I wanted to talk about today, actually, which is how can you actually turn free product offers into paid brand deals? Because first of all, I do have my next course is going to be all around this topic. It's going to be called Gifted to Paid, and because this is like my most requested, topic, which is like I'm getting a bunch of free product offers, but how do I actually turn those into paid partnerships? And so this is going to be the entire thrust of my next course. Probably going to be releasing it in the July August timeframe. But to whet your appetite a little bit behind some of the things that we're going to be talking about in there, let's just I have three tips for you here. So tip number one about turning free products into paid sponsorships is that you need to be a detective. It is your job to figure out exactly what the brand wants out of contacting you. So most brands have two main strategies when it comes to working with influencers. The first is called earned media, right? And this is where they'll reach out to a bunch of different influencers offering to just send free product and just see if anyone bites, right? And in my opinion, this type of traditional PR tactic where they'll just ask for your address, there's no expectation that you'll post in return, it's totally fine. Brands are going to do this from now until the end of time, right? And there are lots of companies that send my wife and me products, and sometimes we post about it on IG stories, but the key is that they're not sending us a brief or talking points or requiring us to post about it, right? Unless it's a really expensive product or it's a brand that you've been dying to work with forever, you really should not be agreeing to any of those types of collaborations where there's a bunch of posting requirements, but they're not compensating you. And so the second strategy that brands use is called paid media. And this is where they're running Instagram ads, they're running Facebook ads, or they're pairing influencers to talk about their product. And in that scenario, the brand has a lot more control over what you say, right? So that's a big advantage to a brand. So when they reach out to you with a free product offer, you can say, I'm so excited that you reached out. Looks like a great product. Can you let me know your goals for the collaboration? Are you trying to drive brand awareness? Are you trying to drive sales? Once you have that info, that's when you can start crafting your counter proposal. Okay. So tip number 2 about turning free product offers into paid brand deals is now that you have the additional information about what the brand is trying to accomplish, you can offer other creative ways they can get value out of the partnership. So, for example, you can say, well, if you pay me $750, in addition to making a post about it on my page, I'll also grant you paid media rights to use my content as digital ads for 3 months. And you can also offer to allow them to whitelist your content, which means that you grant the brand advertiser access to the back end of your Facebook or your Instagram or your TikTok for Spark ads. And they boost your native posts that you make on your page. And by the way, if they haven't sent you any sort of influencer brief, you can actually call that out in your counter proposal that you would love for them to identify the 3 to 4, let's say, key benefits of the product and a main call to action that you can touch on in your posts. Because you can essentially tell them that having those sound bites will make your content so much more valuable for them to repurpose, whether organically on the brand's handle or using it for paid media. Because generally, brands love the idea of having more control over how their product is talked about. So if you illustrate that you're willing to work with them to integrate that messaging organically, it's going to be super compelling. Right? And tip number 3 about turning free product offers into paid sponsorship is to offer to make exclusive content for their social media platforms. So when the brand reaches out to you, take a peek at their Instagram, at their Facebook, at their TikTok, at their YouTube. How often are they posting there? Is the content quality pretty low? Are they not posting very often? You can pitch them. You can pitch to them that you can create 5 to 10 photos or videos for them regularly for $1,500 a month. Posting about the brand on your platform can still be part of the counter proposal, but by thinking outside of the box and getting into the head of the brand about why they want to work with influencers in the first place will make you seem like a savvy partner who understands social media. Okay? Like, here's the thing to remember. Your goal should not be a one-off partnership with these brands. You want to create ongoing relationships where you can create recurring revenue for yourself. Can you imagine if you had to look for a new 9 to 5 job every single month? That's honestly what most influencers do. They work with a brand once and then they literally never talk to them again. So at the outset, when brands reach out to you, you have to get rid of this fast money mindset and think about how you can craft a mutually beneficial long-term partnership with this brand. Right? Oh my goodness. Man, we got Chris from Cast Ahead in the IG chat saying, I still have chills from our interview on Dealcaster. Yo, if you guys don't know Chris Stone and Jim Fizz, they are called the Dealcasters. They have this awesome show on Amazon Live and a lot of different platforms. Definitely check them out. Chris is the one who got me the hookup to speak at VidFest at the end of May. So Chris, I'm forever grateful to that. And man, yeah, it was a great show. Thanks again for having me on there, man. And glad to hear that everyone enjoyed it, man. So that was great. Stoked to meet you. We got Taylor Made in the IG chat, Storytelling Woodco, Raphael Dogs. What's going on, man? Yeah, Mrs. Marvelous Retro said, thank you so much. In my experience, small businesses want free content, but our content has so much value at the end of the day. That's exactly right. Sometimes you just have to look yourself in the mirror and understand the value that you're bringing to not only them, the value you're bringing to your followers. You've built up, this connection. Again, it just comes down to like, I'm actually working on this presentation for VidFest or for CEX. I'm speaking at CEX in a couple days, and my presentation is called "How to Craft a Sponsorship Pitch No Brand Will Ignore." And I'm really excited about this proposal or this speech because I've never talked about a lot of this stuff before, so it's kind of new material. And one of the things I talk about in the presentation is this concept of a bridge, where the brand is on one side, right, on one side of the cliff, and then their ideal customer, i.e. your followers, are on the other side, right? And so then there's this like giant like drop down, plummet to your death, like all the way at the bottom of the cliff. And so it's just like there's no way to get across there, right? And this is the brand's challenge every single day: is how do they actually reach their ideal customers? And so the graphic is that you are the bridge between these two ledges, right? You have built this like rope bridge between the brand and this, like, their ideal customers who are your prospective followers. And so are you just, it took you a really long time to like make this bridge. You probably did it by hand, right? Posting all the time, commenting, replying, engaging, right? Probably took you several years to build up this trust and this connection with your followers. So are you going to let any random brand cross that bridge? No. And you're definitely not going to do it for free. Right. So it's so critical to like have this inflection point and understand this mindset shift with respect to like why you should not be allowing brands to do these types of things for free. Because in any industry, like think about this other point, which is that when even that small business wants to access prospective customers on Facebook and Instagram, they gladly pay Facebook and Instagram. Right? So, do you think Facebook and Instagram is letting them do that for free? You think you think they're saying to Facebook and Instagram, "Hey, let's just do a trial. Can I run a trial ad right now? And then if it goes well, I'll pay you more money." Facebook is like, "No, pay up now." So it's the same concept. You have a distribution channel. You are allowing the brand to access your followers, just like Facebook is allowing them to target prospective customers. They pay them for that privilege. It's the same concept here with you. So why should you? Not only that, when a brand has to have some sort of asset to run the ads. So they're probably paying for that too. The photo, the video, whatever they're using to actually run the ad. So a brand is asking you to create not only free content, but actually distribute it for free? I don't think so. That costs money, y'all. Right? Yeah, Architectural Sheet Metal said 101 says, "This is gold right here." Yo, I appreciate that. This is gold. Shelly Saves the Day is asking, how do you price whitelisted videos? Well, Shelly, you're in for some luck because I have an entire video talking just about this topic on my YouTube channel. So go check it out. But generally, the rule of thumb that I advise creators is 25% of the base deal size per 30-day period. So if the base deal size, let's say, is $1,000 for the content creation and so on, then it would be an additional $250 per month added on top of that. So if they want 90 days of whitelisting, that would be $1,750 for the deal. And it's a little bit different when it comes to licensing your content. So for those of you guys who aren't familiar, whitelisting is when you actually, again, you allow the brand to access the back end of your social platforms to boost the native posts that you make on your page. And so licensing is a little bit different, where you actually give the asset to the brand, the photo, the video, whatever, and then they actually run the ads on their handles, right? On the brand's Instagram, Facebook, and so on. And so the licensing fee is a little bit different, but you can go watch the video and kind of see how I talk about it. Yeah, and Taylor Made in the chat said, this is similar to a customer journey, the whole concept of the bridge, bridging the gap between where a customer is and where they want to be. You are the gap filler, and the brands will pay for that. That's exactly right. I even thought about this concept a lot when I was, working on my course and kind of trying to describe the transformation that people experience when they go through it. I'm always trying to hone this and everything, because yeah, it's one thing to have like a bunch of testimonials and stuff that really helps. I have a lot now. I have like, I don't know, 50 or something, or probably more than that by now. But it's like helping people understand that, like, here's where you are. You are getting brand deals and sponsorships sometimes, and it's nice money. Like, it's pretty compelling. It's great, right? It's good money when you can get it. But it's like, here's where you want to be, making like 5 figures every month from brand deals, right? And so it's just like, how do you actually bridge this gap? And so all of my marketing literature, all the stuff about like the way in which I describe all the things I'm going to be teaching you throughout my course, and the support network and all that stuff, that is the bridge. That is how I'm going to get you from here to here. And so it's my job to help illustrate that. And so that's exactly what it is. And so you extrapolate this to when you're actually trying to have conversations and negotiations with brands. You do the same thing. You are the bridge. They have this business objective. They're trying to get to over here, which is the objective. Here's where they're at now. They haven't accomplished it yet, but here's what they want to do, right? They want to reach Gen Z consumers or whatever, right? And you're on TikTok. You are the bridge. And it's not just about content. You see how this is an entire reframing of the value proposition discussion, because at that point, when you think about yourself as the bridge, right? You not only can create compelling content, but you can help give the brand strategy assistance. You can help them say, hey, this is your objective. You're trying to reach Gen Z. Well, yeah, I can create some content for you, but here's all these other ideas I have. You can partner with these other influencers. You should be on this. You should be advertising on this other platform over here that also Gen Z are excited about. Right. So it completely reframes what you're bringing to the table and why the brand should pay you. Right. Oh, Burning by Ear is now on Instagram. She jumped over here. Good to see you there. Um, In reference to licensing, Skincare Nerd is asking a question. We should be handing off the content indefinitely, correct? Or is there a limit? Oh, there's definitely a limit. You should definitely not be giving perpetual usage to your content when you're doing licensing. Yeah, I almost never advise to grant perpetual usage to a brand because you can get into a situation where they are just running paid ads with your name and likeness forever. And then when you want to partner with a brand in a similar category who also wants to run paid ads with your name and likeness, you could get into a situation where there's like all these ads running out there with your name, and it's looking like you're representing or promoting like competing products, which just doesn't look good for anyone involved, right? It doesn't look good for you. It doesn't look good for the original brand. It doesn't look good for the new brand, right? So just try to avoid that. But yeah, you absolutely need to limit it to a term. When they're licensing your content, it's going to be for 90 days, 6 months, a year, maybe. But beyond that, they should probably be paying you a lot of money. My general piece of advice is that if there is a brand that is like dead set on getting your content perpetually and just owning it outright, 10x your rate, like it's got to be a lot of money for you to agree to something like that. I can count on one hand the amount of times that my wife and I have done that, and they paid us a whole heck of a lot of money to do that. Okay. Whew, man, flying through stuff today. Architectural Sheet Metal said, like my business coach taught me, be the prize. I am the prize, right? Embody the prize. I am the prize. I love that. Saba Fatima says, do you provide that advice before or after they agree to work with you? Provide what advice? The strategy advice around like what you're going to provide to them. Yeah. I mean, so the way in which to think about this when you're putting proposals together is you identify to them the what and the why, and then they have to pay for the how. Let me say that again. When you are providing a proposal to a brand about why they should work with you, you can identify the problem, right? Which is the what. And then you explain to them why it's a problem, why it's important that they accomplish this thing. And then your proposal is the how. And right, that's what you have to pay me for. I'm going to help you implement this. And so if you think about that 3-part framework in terms of putting together, in fact, like it really is an important concept to think about because it applies not just to like sponsorships and brand deals, right? Like maybe you're in you're applying for a full-time job, 9-to-5 job, and you're in salary negotiations, right? Your proposal to them is you're trying to explain to them like what you're going to do in the role, why you think you're the best candidate for that, and why it's you, not another candidate. And then the how is why they should hire you because you actually tell them in the next 90 days, I'm going to do this. In the next 120 days, I'm going to do this. In the next 6 months, I'm going to do this. Right. So this is actually a very important concept for anything in life, I think, too, when you're trying to frame the value you provide. Right. Annie Portelaine shared the live video. I didn't even know you could do that on TikTok. Thank you, Annie. I appreciate you. That's dope. Any last questions, guys? We're already at the hour. I don't even know how that happens all the time. Saba says, could they take that with respect to the strategy stuff? Could they take that and then just move on to an experienced influencer and use the how that I provided? I mean, it's possible, but like it's just like business ideas, right? But like if you've ever run into anyone where they're like, oh, I can't tell you about my business idea because you're going to steal it from me. It's like ideas are a dime a dozen, right? Like, good luck going and trying to execute on my idea. No one has the passion for implementing this that you do. So it's the same idea when it comes to working with brands. So if you propose to them, hey, I'm going to do all this for you. Here's some ideas, right? You're not giving them the secret sauce, but you're explaining it to them. So yes, it's possible, but don't lose sleep over that. Like if they do that, like I can almost guarantee to you that'll be in the single digit percentage of the time that brands will try and do something like that to you. In the Facebook chat, what are you using to stream that you can stream on multiple platforms? Well, I'm using Restream. And I am actually a Restream affiliate, a Restream partner. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out for free. I have a link in the description box. And I love Restream. I'm streaming live on YouTube, my private Facebook group, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok right now, Instagram Live. Actually, TikTok is separate. I have a separate phone set up here for TikTok. But yeah, I'm using it to stream on a bunch of different platforms, and I love it. I can put cool little layovers and stuff, or like overlays, like my logos and all that stuff too. Run, video, like actually pull in videos and stuff like that too. So it's pretty compelling. Yeah. So glad this was helpful. Thank you. Anyways, I'm like loopy right now. By the way, the reason I'm like a little today is I have been starting a new workout routine with my a trainer. I'm actually waking up at 4:15. Actually, 4:20. So I've been waking up really early this week, and I'm basically done with my workout by like before 6, like 5:45 or something. So a little early, trying to adjust to the sleep schedule, trying to go to bed a little bit earlier. But yeah, oh my goodness. It's been an early days this week. So anyways, thank you so much to everyone for tuning in today. Hope this was helpful, talking about should creators accept free products or gifts from brands, talking about the pros and the cons of everything. I love talking about this thing. By the way, if you're interested in staying updated on when my next course comes out, Gifted to Paid, just go to giftedtopaid.com. That's gifted, paid.com. You can sign up for the wait list. Definitely stoked for that. And also, the next cohort of my Brand Deal Wizard program, the cohort-based course, is going to be launching at the beginning of June. So if that's something that any of you are interested in, excited for, definitely join the wait list for that too. Branddealwizard.com for that one. Because I do potentially let people who are on the wait list in a few days early. Maybe you're not. Anyways, so thank you all so much for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next